ridiculously cheap, though. Okay, it's something like 0.007 cents to send a text. So, I mean, we're talking like half of a cent. So it doesn't cost a whole lot. Now, one of the things, too, is when you sign up for a Twilio account, because Twilio kind of bought or did the initial program through KWRI, all the phone numbers that they gave to KWRI to text message were 512 area code numbers. So if you're using the system, or using the Twilio system to send out a text, it's going to go to your clients from a 512 area code. Okay? Now, there's a way to fix that. And the way that you fix that is you contact Twilio, and you can either call them or you can go onto their website and do an online chat. You let them know that you're a Keller Williams agent in Calabasas. 512 area code is not what you want. And then they can configure it so that you get a local area code that works for Twilio. Now, they charge you for that number or that number change, but again, it's ridiculously cheap. It's like $1 a month. So $12 a year for the number, and then if you don't want it to be a 512 area code, and then about half of a cent on average per text.
So you highly recommend?
Yeah.
So they give you your own number that sends text out, but it'll go directly back to your.
No, if your client texted back, then you would get a notification of the text back to command.
But it's not coming from my personal.
No, it won't come from your personal phone. Okay. There is a way that you can text people from your personal phone that will show up in command, though, but you wouldn't, not where you could do it in bulk or in mass. Okay. And I'll talk to you guys about that in a bit. PieSync, basically what PieSync is it is a third-party company that allows us to connect to pies. Not just pies, but basically, I'm going to hit disconnect account so I can show you what it looks like. So I'm going to find PieSync, I'm going to hit connect account, and rather than having to pull a bunch of people over using a spreadsheet into command into my database, PieSync has integrations with all these companies. So if you wanted all your contacts from your phone to go into command, then you can connect your iCloud account to PieSync. PieSync would then take all your contacts out of your iPhone and put them into command for you. Okay. So you get one connection that's basically for free, and if you scroll down here, if you have a lot of contacts that live in any one of these apps here, then you can connect it. So you can scroll down, they have like 150 different ones or something like that.
You know if it keeps the same that you might have?
Well, you can map it out, too, is the thing. So like, for example, if I say, hey, I got a lot of contacts in Google Contacts, I can click Google Contacts. And then if I already have done this, then you can see the accounts that you've linked previously, or you can add a new account. Okay? So I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to choose this one.
Can you choose more than one?
You get one free. Well, here's the thing. There's a hack to get multiple ones, but you get one that's not one that's free. Okay? If you do multiple ones, then you at the same time, then you have to pay for them. But the hack basically is this: the way PieSync works, or the way you can theoretically set it up, I have all my contacts in Google Contacts. I want them all in command, so I can sync that. I can put this sync up, and I can set it up as a two-way sync, so that if I update a contact in command, then it will then sync and update it to my Google Contacts. If I add a contact to my Google Contacts, or update the information in Google Contacts, then it will also automatically sync and update to command, right? So it'll live in both. Any change I make will live in both places, which is cool.
Every time you.
Yeah, anytime I do an update, it'll change. I don't have to go into one and fix the other. So here's the hack. If I have a bunch of different contacts that live in different places, I can. But I don't necessarily need it to update. I can log into PieSync using one of the syncs, and then I can connect it, pull all the contacts out of that into command, then disconnect it, and then reconnect another one. Do the same process until I've pulled out all the contacts in everything that I have, and they're all in the command. And then what I do, the way I did it is I did it so that I pulled every contact out using PySync out of any system that I had available. And then after I was done, the largest one that I cared about having a two-way sync, I reconnected that one last. So now there's a two-way sync for my largest one, but I got all the contacts from everything out on the other one. Does that make sense?
So it won't remove.
What's that?
That's it won't remove. That's already.
Yeah, once they're in command, they're not going to get pulled out of command. Right? Yeah.
So I've been using languages,
Mhm.
and I see that they have, what was it? I see they have a thing, provide language. If I want to go through sign in, through Google.
Yeah, so basically you can use contextually if you pull them all out of contextually.
They're all tagged, the tags will carry over.
Well, you can map it, and I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so I'm going to go, and then after I select the account, hit configure the sync between contacts and command. And then here's something that's really important, especially if you're using your phone. Okay? Because when I did this for the first time, I was like, oh, this is awesome. I get all my phone contacts in the command. I don't have to do anything extra. It's going to be really simple, easy, awesome. I set it all up, and then I click go. Well, the thing I had forgotten about is I wanted all my contacts from my phone into command, but I didn't want necessarily every contact that I had back into my phone. And so basically, since I forgot to do that, yeah, all my contacts from my phone went to command, but I ended up going from about 200 contacts into my phone to 3,000 contacts. So, well, it doesn't double it. Basically, what it is that you can set up a two-way sync, like I said, so it'll go back and forth. Or you can set up so that it's a one-way sync. So anything that I add into Google Contacts, if I set up as a one-way sync here, anything I add to Google Contacts would go into command, but any change I made in command or add in the command wouldn't necessarily go back to my contact.
How did you get to that page? I was looking down.
You go into the PySync, and then you just, after you go into PySync, you walk through the tutorial. Okay? And then I can set it up the other way. Anything I do in command goes into Google Contacts, but anything I do in contacts doesn't come back. So you got three different configurations you can do. One way, or both ways. Okay?
Any recommendations?
It depends on you. I don't have a recommendation. Personally, I didn't want that many contacts in my phone, so I screwed up. So if I don't want if I want all the contacts into the command, but I don't want it necessarily coming back this way, I would do a one-way sync and not necessarily.
How do you set that up?
If the source is from Google Contacts and I want all my Google Contacts or any change I made into Google Contacts to go to command, then I would do it this one.
Oh, so you just click the
Yeah.
arrow.
Yeah, you just click the arrow. Okay. And then there's different filters and settings that you can do with connections. You got all your connection settings down here. And then here's your field mappings. So if you were talking about things are tagged in another one of your systems, you would set it up this way. Right? So if it's tagged in contextually as middle name or something different, I could, whatever that is, if I want to go into the middle name slot, I would select that here. If I have it tagged as whatever job title in contextually or whatever my contextually thing is, and I wanted it changed, I can have it go here. Right? If I want to turn off any of these field mapping things, I can turn them off too, so then it won't pull over. Okay? So you're basically just going to go and make sure that whatever you have listed on your other place, make sure it syncs up to where you want it to in command that way. Does that make sense? Yeah. So this is going to pull up all my tags that I have in whatever system I'm using. In this case, it was Google, and this is anybody I have tagged in Google. This is where it's going to go, or how it's going to be tagged in command.
How deep does the sync go? Will it work with tasks and Google and other?
Okay, you guys need to be quiet so I can hear it. Can you repeat that?
How deep does the sync go? Will iCloud transfer tasks back and forth and calendar invites, etc., or is it
just the stuff that's tagged here?
Okay.
And then once you get all the field mapping done, if you want to add custom ones, you can add field mapping, and then you can hit Start Syncing Now. Click Start Syncing, and then the screen's going to blink. And then it's going to start showing you, okay, here's what's happening right now. And once it gets to this point, then you can just click X because it'll just download in the background. And then when it's all done, those contacts that you had in whatever source that you started out as will come back over to there. Okay? So that is PySync. We're going to skip DocuSign for right now. We'll get into that when we go into the opportunities later. What Twitter post scheduling is the same thing as the Facebook post scheduling. Hard to talk over you guys. Okay? So the Twitter post scheduling is kind of like the Facebook post scheduling. If I want to link a Twitter account out and basically set up my social media posts, I can do that there. If I have an Office 365, if I'm using Office 365, you can connect that, and that will automatically connect any contacts you have in 365 to your command account too. Now, this is the second Facebook one that we talked about. The second Facebook one is your Ads Manager. You're just going to sign into your personal account there and connect your personal account because Facebook doesn't charge you money for ads that you run from a business page. They charge you from your personal account, so you got to sign into your personal account there or wherever you pay Facebook from. Same thing with Twitter. And then, you need a business page on Facebook. Yeah. And then Google AdWords, if you're using Google AdWords, you can connect your AdWords account there too. MailChimp, we're not connecting MailChimp right now at all because when we originally signed up with them, they were going to be the provider for our smart plans and our bulk email, but then they decided to start charging us, and so we didn't want to forward costs over to you because originally what we had negotiated with them is there wasn't going to be any cost to you for a certain amount of emails that went out, and they changed their pricing policy. So now we're in the process of negotiating with another company to be our email provider. I don't choose that stuff. That's Gary's thing. Instagram is on here to run ads, but in terms of posts, that's something I'm not sure if and when they're going to do that.
But there was, okay, so I guess when you add in client, you just put in their social.
Yeah.
It didn't have an option for Instagram. Is that going to be on it?
I'm not sure. I'll try to find out. Would you like it to?
I would like it.
Okay, I always use. Yeah, because I always use Josh's canned response. Josh's canned response to any question like that is, would you like it to? And we have the ability to say, hey, we want it to do this. So we're going to break for lunch for about 20 minutes, and then we'll come back and start working. Now, before we break for lunch, 1, 2, 3. Before we break for lunch, we should have the ability to add all of those apps synced or lined up in. The only one that we really didn't go over was DocuSign because I know they've been having some problems lately. So through lunch, I want to make sure that you can even get that synced up or added in there. Okay, and then also the MCA for your market center has to turn some certain things on in order to be able to sign up for that anyway. So that is different in every location as well too. Okay. We'll go over that part of it later. Okay.
Do you want to see if there's any chat questions?
Yeah, go ahead. So before we break, we'll see if there's any questions that have come up from the other location.
Will there be templates available for these?
Templates available for what? Yeah, when we get into websites, I'll go over some of that stuff. Okay, so we're going to break for about 20, so we'll come back at 1:35.